Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani here. We got a live video in store for y'all. So, first thing, what are the most common signs and symptoms of food allergens? One of the big ones are called allergic shiners. Allergic shiners are essentially you have these kind of dark circles under the eyes. What's happening there is we have our frontal sinuses and we have lymph that pools up, and this lymph can pool up from inflammation. And these inflammation compounds are primarily happening from food allergens. So if like were you to bump your elbow or someone were to punch you in the eye, right, it would swell up. Well, the same thing is happening when we eat certain foods that are inflammatory. We're going to have inflammation, and then we're going to have this lymphatic kind of pooling and swelling, and it can literally pool right at the bottom of the eye. So one of the most common signs and symptoms are going to be allergic shiners, where it looks like you almost have a black eye. And that's from lymphatic pooling that occurs under the eye. Now, we first would look at what are the most inflammatory foods that could potentially doing it. It could be dairy, casein protein in dairy. It could be grains or gluten are going to be big ones. Of course, refined sugar, maybe other grains like corn or high fructose corn syrup that may have some corn antigens. And this is going to create inflammation, and you're going to see it happen in the frontal sinus. You may see headaches, you may see congestion, you may see a runny nose, and you may see a lot of this lymph pool right under your eyes. And that's your first sign. And you see a lot of kids today with allergic shiners. Really, really important. This is the number one sign is going to be food allergens. So if you see a kid like that, paleo template elimination, paleo template / diet approach is going to be the first thing we want to do. We want to cut out grains, legumes, dairy. We want to cut out refined sugar and healthy proteins and fats at every meal. That's going to be one of the first things. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to add in hydrochloric acid. People that are eating food allergens tend to have a stressed out tummy, and they may not make enough enzymes and acids to help break down their food. So enzyme and acid support is going to be important. In my supplement line, we use HCl Supreme and enzyme synergy. We'll put links below. That's what we typically use to help support the digestion and breakdown of food. Food's not broken down all the way can be a stressor on our digestive system. So making sure we have enough means to break it down really helps take a lot of stress off of our gut. So we have the lymphatic kind of pooling with the eyes. That's number one. We may see other things. We may see rashes such as eczema or dermatitis. These are common things that we're going to see with the skin. So if we're seeing those, that could be another issue. We may have to dive in deeper to nuts, to seeds, to eggs, and other skin-related autoimmune issues that could be connected to those foods. So we kind of have like our paleo template is level 1, and then our autoimmune template's level 2, where we're cutting out nuts, seeds, nightshades, and eggs, until we dive in a little bit deeper. And of course, there could be other underlying hormonal or gut-related issues that could be continuing to stress out these pathways. So we got to look deeper at the gut and infections and maybe even the hormonal pathways, because inflammation in the body is going to lean on the adrenals. It's going to lean on our hormone system to kind of help put out the fire and help build us back up stronger. So hormones are really important chemical messengers that will get stressed when we have chronic food stressors. So food allergens, allergic shiners, kind of a good segue into this whole food allergen cascade. Other signs of food allergens could be weight gain. It could be brain fog. It could be fatigue. It could be poor digestion, slow down motility, lots of different symptoms. And they don't necessarily have to be all digestion or gut related. You could have mood or energy related issues that are easily connected. All right, let's dive in and look at a couple of questions here that are related to this topic. Dr. J, is phlegm and mucus in my throat a sign of food allergy issues? I cut out all grains and dairy. I'm on a Mediterranean diet right now. Yeah, more than likely, Jay, that is going to be a food allergen issue, that phlegm and mucus. A Mediterranean diet, lots of grains are typically allowed. So it's possible there could be other foods that you're letting slip in there that could be part of that. Dennis writes in about a supplement question not related to this topic. And then Sarah writes in, what are the underlying cause of dark circles? Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a lot of food allergens and a lot of the inflammation and the lymphatic pooling that may occur because of it. A lot of lymphatic pooling and inflammation that occurs because of it. So a lot of people look at food allergy testing. That's a really great thing that comes up is, what about doing food allergy testing? There are some that are out there that will look at more than just IgG or IgA. Your more functional testing will look at IgG, IgA, which may not correlate with the foods that you're reactive to. Or in other words, you may see foods that you know you can't tolerate, meaning you have symptoms or you just feel better keeping them out. But on these tests that may say it's okay for you. And that's where it becomes contradictory, because you're having patients invest in money in these tests. And then we're like, well, don't listen to that. Or don't listen to that. So it becomes a little tough when you're getting a lot of contradicting data. And of course, in the conventional medical setting, when we're looking at food allergy testing, they may do a skin test where they put little antigens underneath your back and see where you get more inflamed, or they may look at IgE mediated reactions. And that's going to be more anaphylactic. And we may not, those may not correlate with actual food allergens, because those are more anaphylactic. Those are, really sensitive type of reactions, like the peanut allergy you hear about, or the throat closing allergenic issues. So there are other tests out there that will look deeper at immune activation outside of IgA and IgG, like the ALCAT or ELISA ACT or the MRT food allergy testing. These are a little bit better because they're going to look at other types of immune reactions that may occur. But I still see sometimes these tests can miss certain patients, miss certain allergens, or some people it'll say, oh, you can have grains, but you may not really be able to, because there may be other immune activations or immune reactions that are happening that aren't being picked up by that test. That's why we always got to take it with a grain of salt, so to speak. All right, guys, try to keep the topic on food allergens if possible. Food allergens, if possible, will be ideal, so we can keep the suggestions and comments all relevant. All right, so any last questions, feel free and let me know. Joe writes in, does sedentary lifestyle trigger gallbladder and GERD and indigestion? I would say it possibly could. I mean, it just depends. So could being overactive. Overactive could create additional adrenal stress, which could put your body in a fight or flight state and make it hard for you to digest and secrete enzymes. I would say it probably wouldn't have too much of a negative effect, because I'm worried more about overstressed. But it's possible if you're incredibly sedentary, that may be a stressor as well. So it's possible. Kelly writes in, I'm having a sensitive issue with the pea protein. Can you recommend another protein shake you provide or I can buy? Yeah, so if you're having a problem with the pea, I would try my True Collagen or True Keto Collagen, which is going to be a beef collagen-based amino acid. Start there and see how you do, Kelly. That could be a next good step for you. Pea's pretty good for patients with autoimmune issues, but collagen peptides are another great way to get extra protein in. Collagen peptides are going to be, mine are activated by proteolytic enzymes, so they're already broken down, easier for you to digest, assimilate, utilize, and absorb. And if you can't tolerate the pea, this could be another hypoallergenic amino acid we can add in. All right. Any other questions, guys? Feel free and let me know. Awesome, Kelly. If you need it, you can jump on my website, justinhealth.com/shop, and just, I think it's under nutrients, or you can email the office and we can take care of you, Kelly. All right, guys, any other questions, feel free and let me know. I put a video up on thyroid hormone today. Make sure you take a look at it. Also, we have an amazing podcast coming tomorrow morning. You'll see it out, all on natural solutions for diarrhea. I'll probably put a little YouTube video out this week summarizing it as well, so people can get some of that action-packed, more condensed information without having to listen to the whole 30 minutes. So hopefully that's helpful. Anything else on this topic, y'all let me know before I jump off. I'll give you a minute here to catch up. So in general, food allergens, important topic. Testing may be overrated. For some people, it may be a good idea to use some of the more cutting edge tests that I recommend. For others, we may want to look at just supporting your digestion and starting out with a paleo template. And we may want to look at deeper infections, because infections that create more gut permeability creates more immune activation. More immune activation can create potential food allergens. Also, one last school of thought is, if you love it, rotate it. If you're eating lots of foods, the same foods frequently, you may want to get some rotation in there so your immune system is not getting exposed to the same things all the time. That may significantly help you. Patricia writes in, I found that I had SIBO because my sinuses were badly congested. After treatment for SIBO antibiotics, my sinus congestion and dark circles are still there. Could this still be a SIBO or a food allergy issue? It's possible. There could be other issues beyond SIBO, like other fungal or parasitic issues. Also, some people have like post-nasal drip kind of bacterial or fungal things that hide way up in the back of their nose. And this is where we recommend what's called the nasaline. And we'll use some neti, Exley, or packets. We may even mix in some silver and some iodine drops. I'll put some links to some of these products below so you guys can access them. And typically injecting in one nose for 1 to 2 seconds, creating flow down the other, and then the other nose creating flow down the other as well, so we can flush out any of this junk or biofilms or bacterial crud that could be hanging out up there. Gabe writes in, one of the oddest allergy tests I've ever had was to hold on to a small container with a specific food, hold it close to my chest. Based on my heart rate, she would determine whether I had an allergy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's kinesiological testing, and that's energetic. And, you know, you hold it here because your thymus gland's here. So there is some energetic rationale to it. Some people do it under the tongue, so your actual sublingual nerves get to touch it, and it can hit your brain and it can sense how your immune system will respond. There's some, I would say, some veracity to it. Just think the big issue is sometimes it may not be the most accurate, but it can give you a decent gauge. Is MSM safe to take? I have no problem with that. Can you take spore-based probiotics during and before the killing phase of Candida or SIBO? I have no problem with it. I typically don't recommend doing a whole bunch of probiotics before, unless it's round 2 or round 3. If it's round 1, typically I recommend pausing it unless there's some inflammation in the gut where those probiotics are really going to help with the inflammation and may provide some symptomatic relief. Any thoughts on serrapeptidase for ulcerative colitis? It can be very beneficial. It has some anti-inflammatory benefits, can reduce some of the interleukins and cytokines, and reduce potential scar tissue that is forming. So it could be very helpful. Probably better than a lot of the prednisone and a lot of the biologic medications that are recommended typically. All right. Evie writes in, I'm pregnant again after a miscarriage going into the 6th week, and nausea and vomiting already kicked in. Any suggestions on how to battle this naturally? Yeah. So first thing is you should be doing lots of choline. You should be doing some liver and gallbladder support. I wouldn't do anything that would cause excessive detoxification. I would look at just sipping in ginger tea and sipping on maybe some dandelion tea. I would keep it really simple. Good healthy fats, good healthy proteins, no extra detoxification stuff beyond that, because you don't want to detoxify while you're pregnant. And then number 2, I would look at getting on some intravaginal progesterone from your OB. Progesterone is the sticky glue for the eggs and the uterus lining, and that will help you hold on to that egg longer so you're less likely to miscarriage. Make sure stress and sleep are all under control, nutrition's perfect, but speak to your OB about that. And those would be some gentle recommendations I recommend for morning sickness. Joe writes in, thanks, Doc, for your live sessions. By God's grace, I have really benefited from your answers to our questions. Awesome. Well, thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it. Hope everyone else is appreciating it. You can thank me by hitting a thumbs up and putting a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know topics that you want. When I sit around in my free time, I'm looking at comments and I want to get ideas from y'all, what to look at and what to talk about next. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have a phenomenal day and enjoy the content that'll be coming out later on today and tomorrow. All right, guys, we'll talk soon. I'll be back Friday. Take care.